Is our Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that the Warriors are waiving Chris Paul, who had a $30 million guarantee date here. Welcoming back in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. Now, Woj, what does this mean for the Warriors and their strategy moving forward here?
Malika, this was certainly expected. The Warriors were not bringing back Chris Paul on a $30 million deal at this point in his career, but they had moved the date back from Friday till today to see if they could find a way to maybe use that contract in a trade. And I think if somebody else had taken it on, they would have done the same thing and gotten the money off. Now,
not long after being waived by the Golden State Warriors, CP3, Chris Paul, found a new home in San Antonio. According to Woj, CP3 is signing a one-year deal with the Spurs worth more than $11 million. He wants to play. He knows he still has something left. Obviously, they need guard play and they need leadership in San Antonio. And R.C. Buford and Greg Popovich made it very, very clear. They want this brother on the court being the leader we all know him to be. As long as he's happy, I'm happy.
Chris Paul is speed walking to the Riverwalk, who was cut earlier tonight by the Warriors, intends to sign a one-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs. That's according to Bleacher Report. Paul played mostly in a reserve role with Golden State last season with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Still in the fold, Paul, third on the NBA's career assist list, brings veteran leadership to a young Spurs squad led by Rookie of the Year Victor Wembanyama. Also the fact that they just drafted Stephon Castle out of UConn with their first-round pick, so CP3 can show him how to play point guard in the NBA.
After being released by the Warriors, Chris Paul is set to join the Spurs. According to Woj, the Spurs have signed veteran point guard Chris Paul to a one-year deal. Woj also reported that the deal is worth $11 million. CP3 spent last season with the Warriors and averaged 9 points and 6.8 assists per game. For the first time in his Hall of Fame career, the 12-time All-Star came off the bench last season and only started 18 games. This will now be Paul's 7th team and 5th since 2017. The Wake Forest product was going to be traded, but the Warriors could not find a trade partner and they were going to be on the hook for $30 million if they did not trade him or waive him by Monday, July 1st. Because of that, Golden State decided to cut bait with the future Hall of Famer. Paul was a part of the Bradley Beal trade to Phoenix. However, it was pretty apparent that CP3 was not going to play for a rebuilding team like the Wizards. Less than 2 weeks later, he was traded again, this time to the Warriors, for a package of players that included Jordan Poole and 2 draft picks. His time with the Warriors was very short, as Golden State ended up losing in the play-in tournament and missed the playoffs completely. For his standards, it was not a great year, but he only averaged 26 minutes per game, which was the lowest of his career. After being waived by Golden State, Paul and his team began to work with the Spurs on negotiating a new deal. Within a few hours, the Spurs and Paul had agreed to a new deal. With the Spurs adding Paul, they will have an exciting duo of Paul and reigning Rookie of the Year Victor Wembanyama. Last season, the Spurs' biggest need was a point guard who could distribute the ball to Wemby. Even though Wemby had one of the best seasons for a rookie in NBA history, the Spurs still struggled to give the ball to their rising star. With the addition of CP3 and already having one of the best young players in the game, the Spurs could be a dark horse team to make the playoffs next season. The Spurs have not made the playoffs since 2019, but have had one of the youngest teams in the league in the last 5 years. San Antonio drafted Stephon Castle with the 4th pick, who can play the point guard and the 2 as well. However, Castle has said that he would like to play point guard rather than shooting guard. They will also have their other point guard from last season in Trey Jones. With CP3 signing with the Spurs, it'll be his 7th team. The 39-year-old point guard has also played with the Hornets, Clippers, Rockets, Thunder, Suns, Warriors, and now the Spurs. San Antonio can be an exciting team next season and maybe even a playoff team if CP3 and Wemby can form a strong chemistry. Paul is now in 3rd place for the most assists with 11,894. Let me know what you think of Chris Paul going to the Spurs, and what do you think the Spurs will do next season with the addition of the 12-time All-Star.